Hello and welcome to another AIC how-to video. In this specific video we're going to look at creating purchase invoices on receipts. So once you've logged into Sage X3, we are again going to go to our navigation page by clicking on the top right corner on the little compass in Sage X3 version 12. From purchasing, we're going to scroll down till we find invoices and invoices. When on the invoices, I'm going to select the full entry. And from here I'm going to say new. Okay, so I'm going to create a new purchase invoice. I'm going to select the site that is going to be doing the invoicing, and then the types I just briefly like to explain them. So we've got credit memos with returns, okay, additional invoicing, and the straightforward invoicing, which we're going to do now. So the credit memos returns is straightforward. This credit memos only if you're crediting the invoice. The return is if you're crediting the return that has been done on the receipt, and an additional invoice is for if you have additional charges on the invoice that came in through a courier or whatever the case may be. You can use this additional invoicing function. But in this specific one, we're only going to have a look at the ZA invoice. On my suppliers, I'm going to select my supplier, which I know is ZA056. And over here I'd like to show you, remember from the receipt side we've got the order selection. Just look, we've got the order selection here as well. Okay, typically people will restrict this, so say that you're not allowed to order invoices. I prefer that as well. So you can see there's that 10 and the 20 that was on the purchase order, but we've done two separate receipts on them, right? So down here you've got the receipt selection as well, and in this receipt selection you can see there is my 10, the 5 and the 5, and my 20, the 12 and the 8. So I prefer working with receipt selection depending on the way your organization is set up. You can use either, but it usually just follows a nice flow when you've got order, receipt, then invoice, and preventing people from actually invoicing orders directly. That sometimes happen when you get invoices long before the receipts do arrive, so the functionality is made available, but I typically like turning that off. With that said, I'm going to select these lines on the receipt that I'd like to invoice. I'm going to select both of these receipt lines that we've done and click on create. Oh, it needs the source document number. That's a very good error to have. So I'm just going to say it's my supplier test invoice number 01234. Okay, and create. See, your sequence number has been generated, but notice the post button is still not available for me to post this specific invoice. It's got nothing to do with workflow or approval. The big thing that is standard of Sage X3 version 12 is it has this little control function in here. So you would actually need to specify here, you've got the invoice from the supplier, so I need to capture the amount minus tax that is currently on their document, and I need to make sure the amount minus tax and the tax amount that is on their document is actually matching up with what I'm capturing in Sage. So now that I'm saving, you will see on the control tab after I've saved, the post button becomes available, which basically means that in this control there is no variance in variances basically in the amount of their document versus ours. If there was as much as a cent variance, you would not have been able to post this. Luckily for us, it's matching now, and I can hit the post button. Post, you'll get the warning that tells you can't modify or delete this afterwards. We say okay, continue. And there we go. The log reading will indicate that this purchase invoice has been created and it posted a journal for you. Okay. Last thing to take note of is, you see we've got this payment approval function that we've got in here. So basically this payment approval that we've got in here is defaulting to authorized to pay. If you would like some sort of workflow, we can manage that through open items to have a default to say pending, or there is a conflict, or there's a delay. Usually people that likes to have a little bit more control on their invoices and their payment cycles would leave this on pending and have a default to pending, and then there is a whole approval process of changing this to the authorized to pay ability, because as long as it's not an authorized to pay, whenever you do a payment run for payment proposals or even manually trying to match payments with invoices, this invoice will not be available to match against. So that is a brief overview from a purchase invoice perspective in Sage X3 version 12. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.